Did you know that you can literally hype up a video? Yes, if you are a real bucknut, if you love the Ohio State Football Report, or just the video we do today, smash that hype button, the hype button just to the right of the comment section. Scroll to the right, smash that hype button, and hype up this video. The bye week continues here on the Ohio State Football Report. Billy Beebe back with you, bringing you all the need-to-know info, everything happening right now with Ohio State football. No, they won't be on the field, but a lot is still happening on the field. The recruits, the class of 2026, has been playing really, really, really well. We're going to break down some of those guys, some of the guys that they could add to the class of 2026, and where the Buckeyes stand nationally recruiting-wise. Still not in the spot you'd ultimately like to be, but good enough, right? They're rising up. They're doing better things. We begin with the recruit that so many love and know. It is Chirs Henry Jr., the 5-star wide receiver out of California. You may remember his dad, a receiver with the Cincinnati Bengals. He is playing up to par. We broke down his giant Week 1 nationally televised ESPN game for you guys. He was great in that. He has been great all season. The 5-star is a human highlight machine. He's only played in 5 games. I don't want to dive too much into why he hasn't played in every game for Mater Dei. He did miss last season with an injury. So again, anytime I think he may be sore or having a knee issue, they may be just trying to protect him, make sure he's good. 18 catches, 353, finding the end zone multiple times. And again, that 81-yard over the shoulder, over the defender catch that was all over ESPN and every other social media outlet to begin the season. So Chirs Henry Jr. in his final season of high school football looking pretty good. And every week I see a Carnell Tate touchdown. I see a Jeremiah Smith touchdown. I get that. And Chirs Henry Jr. will be a part of it next season, with Julian Sand playing really, really well too. It kind of just makes you think about what this offense could be. I know you guys love Chirs Henry Jr. I'm a big fan myself. Let's show a little bit of love. Spam CJ down in the chat if you are hyped for Chirs Henry Jr. to make it to Columbus next season and play for the Ohio State Buckeyes. We're going to talk a ton about California guys in this episode. A teammate of Chirs Henry Jr. Yes, his teammate, another wide receiver on the same high school football team, coming to Columbus. Kayden Dixon-Wyatt having a really, really good season as well. Just a reminder, he's a 4-star, one of the top receivers in the country, top receiver of California. We're going to talk a ton about the California guys today. It's a California recruiting class for Ryan Day and company. Kayden Dixon-Wyatt, he's played in every game for Mater Dei. 27 catches, 480 yards, and 4 touchdowns. When he gets the ball, he's averaging a good amount to go with it. He's playing really, really good high school football. That is as I famously love to say, that's a gruesome twosome right there with Chirs Henry Jr. and Kayden Dixon-Wyatt. I don't know how California high school football's fair with those two running loose. Hope they have a good quarterback and hope those guys have great finishes to their senior season. So shout out, again, you can spam CJ, and a shout out to his teammate Kayden Dixon-Wyatt. Did you know the Buckeyes recruited a quarterback in this recruiting class? Luke Fahey, another California bro. His recruiting is dropping, I will note. His numbers have gone down, both his star rating, overall rank, position rank, state rank. You have to keep an eye on this because those are all dropping. Again, rankings are rankings, right? We've gone over 3 stars, and once they get to Columbus, that's all that matters, right? The numbers, what are you going to say? They're terrific. 75% completion percentage in high school is electric, unheard of. Really, really good stuff from Luke Fahey there. I don't really care that his stats are dropping recruited rankings-wise. I don't care. He looks really, really great. He's a dual threat. He can move if he needs to. He scored 4 touchdowns with his legs, passing the ball well. Again, congrats to Luke Fahey on what has been a really, really good senior season. Hope he gets to finish that one out right. Letting you guys know, this episode brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day. Say it with me, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Pick is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which players are overhyped? Make sure you pick in less than 60 seconds because you can't. Enter your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Only app that offers stacks. I know a lot of people are talking stacks right now. Hoops is back, so you can pick any player, go points, rebounds, and assists in that lineup on stacks. I think that's really, really cool on Prize Picks. Buckeyes are off, but we wanted to keep you in that college football mode here a little bit. Jeremy Bernard with Alabama going more on his receiving yards. My boy Chris Daughtry of the Alabama Football Report hyping him up. More on Lenore Sellers. More on the interception for Lenore Sellers. The Bama boys, they're going nuts on the interceptions lately. And more on Ty Simpson. He's fighting for a Heisman, folks. We got to make it look good here with the more than a touchdown pass and a half. Another cool part about Prize Picks, if you liked that lineup or any other lineup you have seen, you can copy it directly on the app with one click. It can be a friend, celebrity partner, or just someone whose pick you like. Hit that follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. So, download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. What is in the water at Glenville High School, Cleveland, Ohio? Cincere Johnson. Anytime we're talking Arvell Reese, who's had a monster year for the Buckeyes, I see a comment every single time. And another one's coming in Cincere Johnson, the 4-star for Cleveland Glenville. And I mean, the history of Cleveland Glenville and Ohio State, you know it, folks. When they get a tar blooder, it's going to be electric in Columbus. And Cincere Johnson has been electric in Cleveland this year. Yes, you're reading that right. 15 and a half tackles for loss. 15 and a half. Cleveland Glenville's actually only 5-3 this season, but we know they're a playoff team. They're a state title contender every single year. And again, Coach Ted Ginn Sr. setting the Buckeyes up for success with his development at the high school level. I'm pumped to see Cincere Johnson in Columbus. Makes me feel a little bit better with Arvell Reese being a top 10 pick right now that the Buckeyes can get Cincere Johnson out here next year. So we're going to get into rankings in just a second nationally coming up in the show. But where do you think the Buckeyes will finish in the national rankings recruiting-wise with the class of 2026? I think this is a really interesting topic. Top 10, top 5, top 2. Things may change quickly, but yet your prediction in down below. Now, a name that we have talked a lot about is Khary Wilder, a good get for the Buckeyes. And the big thing is, you remember in our recruiting update, I believe it was 2 recruiting update videos. This is the reason you got to be subscribed, folks. Make sure you're up to date here on the Ohio State Football Report. 24/7 Sports, we love them. That's what we go off of. That's what we're based off of. 4-star, good rankings all around it. Defense line, California, all in that top 25, looking really good there. Rivals has them as a 5-star. Rivals has them as a top 10, top 5. But Khary Wilder's living up to the hype himself this season in that defensive line role. Tackles are there. Tackles for loss are there. The sacks. The forced fumbles. By the way, can I add, he picked all 3 of those up. 3 forced fumbles, and he scooped them up. Khary Wilder having a really, really good year his senior season. And I think the Buckeyes need to amp it up a little bit on the defensive line. Some guys that can get in and play right away, not need 4 years to make their mark. Although I love, Kenyatta and Kayden. I'd like to see Khary Wilder get to Columbus and get going. So those are the Buckeye commits making a difference, playing well right now in their senior seasons. We always keep you up to date on flip opportunities. The Buckeyes have their eyes, depending on the recruiter, eye, on a couple different players that they want to flip, get to Columbus. And we've already seen them flip guys, right? They flipped Landry Breed from NC State to the Buckeyes, other players, so on and so forth. We already filled you in on Jaden Williams, Massillon High School. James Laurinaitis wants another linebacker. They want a 3rd linebacker for this class. He's pushing hard for either Jaden Williams, who's committed to Alabama, Massillon High School, or Braxton Rembert, who they offered just the other day. I don't know if that means that Williams is starting to be out of play, right? Indiana's having a great year. I don't know if he's just all the way sold, but they get Rembert involved. Again, I trust James Laurinaitis. If this is the way he wants to go about it, more power to him. Amari Latimer, a reason that Wisconsin's struggling so much, their recruiting is going to fall off, right? Latimer is that option. The Buckeyes do have a running back in favor of Key. They will add Latimer. And if you think the Buckeyes need just one running back in a recruiting class or one running back at a time, come on now. How are we operating right now? How did we operate last year? Even years where you had a one back like J.K. Dobbins, you like to have multiple guys, multiple options. And then Kevin Brown, a fallout from the Penn State situation. He says, I want to visit Ohio State. I want to check out Ohio State. So if that kind of gets in the works, I know the Buckeyes will have some people to go check him out during the high school football season right now and then go from there. So we'll keep an eye on all those guys for flips. We like to do that with our shorts on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed, and that will let you know when those shorts are up. That sub button, that's the key. Click that bad boy. It's light work. It's like leaving a tip on the iPad, right? You just click it real quick. You're good to go, and you're getting all the new, free, great Ohio State football information here on the Ohio State Football Report. So, the 2026 class. Here are your commits overall. Those 2 5-stars at the top with Chirs Henry Jr. and Blain Bradford. We highlighted some other guys. Don't forget the O linemen, the big boys. Sam Greer, Akron Hoban is 7-1 so far. This year, looking really, really good there. Jordan Thomas also has electric stats at the cornerback position, so we're excited for that. Even some of the guys in that 3-star category, that lower category. Some more linebackers. We got Kamari Bing. I think he'll be a 4-star by the end of this cycle. And Jameer Perez is another name, that final name on the defensive line. He comes from Glenville as well. So a lot of names there. Where do the Buckeyes fall nationally? You are looking at it right here. A couple of notes as we wrap up the video with where the Buckeyes stand in 247's rankings of the 2026 class. Michigan lost a recruit. They were at 22. They're at 21 now. Ohio State went up a recruit with some changes, flips, so on and so forth. They still stand at 9. I see these comments every single time. It's not the number of recruits. Obviously, that helps. That boosts your points. That boosts your rankings. You look at Oregon. They are 7 with less recruits. It's about the rankings of those recruits, right? So obviously, USC, 33 recruits, which, by the way, still waiting for those guys to flip. I don't know when they all think they're going to play because they basically have a team right there. Boys, you got to consider where you're going to school here. I don't know what we're doing. But the rest, Oregon, Texas, they may have less. Even Alabama now up to number 3 with not as many recruits. It's about what recruits you have. I will say, I like the recruits the Buckeyes have, but what ultimately matters, and you know this as Ohio State fans, it only matters when you get to Columbus and get a part of that system and step foot on the field.